Hi there folks, welcome to another episode of Ping the Last. It's Cheltenham times at last, boys.
God.
Thank God.
Yep, absolutely. Obviously loads to cover through the festival. We can't talk about every single race, just like last year basically.
Yeah,
we did last year. There's just too much for us to individually cover every single race. But keep an eye out for Jacob's tips, because obviously Jacob's our resident tipster, racingtips.net, and obviously we'll give you his full tips, which I'm sure he'll cover every last inch of the festival basically. We'll do that. Obviously we'll also be joined by Jamie as well. We've got some choices in for Jamie as well. Let's crack on then, lads. We're going to start with the Supreme then. I've gone for Fakir Duri.
Yes.
Sean, you've gone for Classical Dream,
I
and
have.
you're going for Angel's Breath, I believe.
If he runs, yes. Yes.
Go on
Well, it's looking more and more likely that he will run.
Yeah,
this one's a bit of a pump for me, and the Nicky Henderson factor has kicked in as well. As we've mentioned so many times, he's got so many novices, he's sport for choice, but they are particularly sweet on Angel's Breath. There's not a lot to go on, but he was impressive on debut just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Beat the likes of Danny Kerwin and said in that day. Couple of people, even Jacob, have sort of said, is that form that great? Possibly not, but all the noises coming out of the yard is that this thing is going to be something special. So went straight into 92 5-1 favourite after that.
I was going to say, it seems to be five
Five times the general. The owner,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Can't stress that enough. Actually, as I say,
Such a final factor, isn't it?
especially this early on, there's no guarantees. But as I say, if he runs, the owner's actually got Al Dancer in that race as well, and he has confirmed that he wouldn't mind running both, or he wouldn't shy away from running both at the same time. I was hoping that Angel's Breath would have a run at Haydock earlier in either this month or just at the end of January. Didn't happen. They went with Mr. Fisher instead. But all the betting noises and suggestions from the yard are that Angel's Breath will go for the Supreme, and hopefully following Altior's footsteps.
Yes. Wow.
Which would be lovely.
Nice footsteps to feel if they can do it.
Yes, you've
Like
got to
what
go
you
some
said.
to match that, but
Yes.
this will be a start.
Yes.
So then, Sean, Classical Dream.
Classical Dream, yeah, no surprise I've gone for a Mullins. I don't
Shocker.
think there is a year gone by I haven't backed a Willie Mullins horse in the Supremes. Classical Dream, though, is what I would class as what you'd want from a horse to win the Supremes, because it's quite a scrappy race, isn't it, really? The novices, they're all, and it's such
They're still a bit green, basically,
They're all
aren't they?
and it's such a large field that you need a horse with some fire, something about it. Like my feelings for Champagne Fever. Love the battle. Would always front run, but if someone came toe to toe, never shied away from a battle.
Yeah, push comes to shove going up.
And for me, Classical Dream has that element to it. 7-8-1 in places at the moment. Obviously, beating was it Armoron?
Aramon,
who was also by looking at it going Supremes as well. Both very good horses, but
and he looked to have beaten Classical Dream
Exactly.
the other
But
week
it's that fight.
at Leopardstown, and he just got his nose back in front, basically, right on the line. And
but that's what you need in the
much to my
Supremes.
disappointment.
Because
There
that's
we
what
go.
you need in the Supremes, though, isn't it? Because turning for home, there could still be 10-15 horses still going down. Spread across the track, it's a very scatty sort of race, and that's where you need quite a gritty horse. So for me, Classical Dream, no surprise, Willie Mullins in the first for me.
Okay, well, as I say, mine was Fakir Duri. I was really impressed with that run at Cheltenham recently. Won by about 13 lengths that day. And beat one of your boys, Ajali, but you sort of quite convincingly, maybe he had a bit of an off day that day, we don't know, but I just very impressed by it.
And
there's a lot of novices about, as you're saying, you know what I mean, there's a lot to choose from and a lot to like for a lot of them. But for me, as I say, it was just very impressed by that run and how well he won it, really, more than anything.
So. Again, course and distance can help him out.
But
again,
again,
it solidifies the price.
Again, it's another one, obviously, always with the Supreme, with the novices and that, you've always got very little to go on, you know what I mean? You have to look at those couple of races they've had. Looking at his form in France prior, nothing really to write home about. He had a second, sixth or fourth and fell.
You'll find that though a lot with these novices, but as I say, they're primed for when they come over here. As long as they're put in the right hands, which the ones that we've all picked out certainly have been, then you give yourselves the best chance.
Yeah,
so,
definitely on that front. Yeah.
Okay, so backing up what you've saying there, Sean, Jacob from the RacingTips.net has gone for Classical Dream as well. Very much stating the same reasons for that. And then obviously, as I say, we've got Jamie's thoughts as well. Jamie's gone for Champagne Platinum in the non-runner no
big
bet
price,
again.
but then
Exactly, yeah.
16s was it?
Yeah, I think it was 16s. Yeah. So that's why he likes that one. He likes to try for an outsider a bit somewhat.
And this is the best time to be looking for those sort of prices, because when you get non-runner no bet across the board, it doesn't. As long as you're smart about it, there's nothing to lose.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And those sort of, so if you hear any sort of noises coming out of any yards, or you feel that you've got enough of a clue, now would be the best time, because prices will crash in there.
As
we
all know.
Once we get confirmation,
the further we go, we know
one
crash sort of thing, isn't it?
So I mean, currently you get 16 to 1. This is a horse that's unbeaten so far in this country. So once confirmation comes in, if it does,
we're bound to be delayed because of the delay we've had in racing recently with the influenza. So
you don't need to explain to everyone.
No, obviously everybody knows about that. But we're all just delighted racing's back this week, I'm sure. And obviously, like you say, prices will still be a little bit out there at the moment, but it won't be long before people start going, well, that's where we're going, and this is what we're going to do. And we'll see, like say, prices tumble, won't we?
Always.
Okay, so that covers the Supreme then. We'll move on to the Arkle. Neil, you've gone for Kalashnikov, one you've been sweet on for a little while.
Yeah. Sean, we are on the same page on this one.
Aye.
Because I obviously was going, I liked Deafy this time. But for obvious reasons that I noticed JLT looks like the main route, so I'll be going JLT.
Which makes sense.
So
we'll come on
100% win the JLT. So yes, I am on board with the Joseph O'Brien.
Yeah.
Which is mine, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll let you take that one. Yeah. I'll let you take on that one.
He's in that race. He's had some decent results lately. Dynamite Dollars is obviously out, which is
shame for the race.
Yeah, it is a shame for the race, but obviously it does boost his chances somewhat. It must do, surely,
Well, he's gone straight in 11-4 favourite.
Yeah,
but you can see why. It's a very solid horse, and Joseph O'Brien at the moment is very much a man, young man in form.
Absolutely.
With a horse like that.
Yeah. Obviously, you got Layla, which obviously we all have seen in recent weeks, or prior to obviously the break. So you wouldn't have forgiven anyone really for looking at that, thinking, well in advance, that could be my one for the Arkle. But as I say, just a couple of runs from Lerichberg lately.
Yeah.
It's just, I suppose what you might say is Lerichberg is sort of maybe what do you call it? Like sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like came to form at the right time. They just had a little dip, in a couple of races recently. Not, nothing drastic. Like you're still talking like thirds or whatever or seconds, but just a little dip, maybe right in front of the festival when Lerichberg is fresh in everybody's mind. So maybe we'll get caught out by that.
Exactly.
Who knows? We don't know.
We're talking about dips.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be worried. Again, Layla's not my pick. I wouldn't be worried about Layla. He's got course form, one at Cheltenham and one at Cheltenham very, very well. That would be nice for the Woolacotts because it's a lovely story.
There's that fairy tale.
Absolutely. Everything they've gone through. Get this horse as well into this race and actually win it. Would be nice. As I say, Cheltenham form and was beaten last time by Dynamite Dollars, who in truth was going to be my selection until unfortunately he's ruled out for the rest of the season and was confirmed. So I have gone back to Kalashnikov, who I've backed religiously.
You stuck
for quite a while.
Small dip.
Absolutely. I wouldn't even say it's a dip, to be honest with you. As I say, it's I'm just. If you bear with me, I'm just going to.
He's been in some decent
recent form, but again, the last horse that beat Kalashnikov was Dynamite Dollars. That was at Kempton. I don't think Kempton was an ideal track for Kalashnikov. I think a little bit tight, and I think going back to Cheltenham. Was second in the Supreme last year, I think, behind some of your boy. And made a mess of quite a few of those hurdles, but still found loads getting up the hill. Just didn't have quite the engine that Somerville Boy had at the time.
Somerville Boy, Klashikov, and then Mengali Khan.
Mengali Khan as well,
Khan,
who's also been beaten out of sight recently as well. So again, runner-up in the Supreme as we mentioned last year, taken well to chasing, won a couple of ordinary events at Plumpton and Warwick, I believe. And this has always been the plan. Jack Quinlan gets on famously well with the horse.
Well, we're assuming it'll be Jack again, won't we? I'd be very surprised if it wasn't.
No, it will be Jack Quinlan that takes the ride. Gets on famously, as I said, and I just think Cheltenham is going to be a much better suited track for Kalashnikov and seems to find plenty. And has course form at Cheltenham as well, so that's good enough for me.
It's one of them, isn't it? Like, as I said to someone, funny enough, today at work, anyone could come to you with a bet for a race at Cheltenham, and you'd be very hard pushed to say no, you're completely wrong.
Yeah,
because that's the whole point.
They've all warranted their place there.
They've all warranted a place there, and you know they've all got fours and against.
That's the beauty of it. The best of the best are going to go to Cheltenham. This is obviously going to separate the very best from the good. So as I say, another cracking race. That's the first two, and there's some brilliant cards. And
absolutely, I'm well looking forward to it. Say my first live Cheltenham would be fantastic, so can you wait for that?
But main race of the day.
Okay, well we've got some more agreements here, lads. We've got Jacob has gone for Klashnikov. He's agreeing with you. Thinks that, like you say.
Yeah, we had a chat earlier and we seem to have the same opinion about perhaps last time out at Kempton and things like that. So that's fine.
Jamie has gone with Layla.
Oh, okay.
At the 5-1 in the non-runner no bet. Has also mentioned in his messages to us that he hasn't actually got Leishberg as well, I think. But he seems to have slightly sliding towards later.
And again, you can understand why
again,
some
exactly.
Course form. It's vital. It really
is. Across the cards, we're kind of all there or thereabouts, aren't we? And there's pros and cons for all of them.
I think we've narrowed that one down to sort of 2 or 3 maximum.
Absolutely, Okay, well, next then, the real big one for the day, the main champion hurdle, which, let's be honest, should be an absolute belter.
Yes. It is a card.
Sean, you've gone, which, no real surprise, but obviously Mullins again, Marina. Neil, you're going to stick with the champ, Bouvedere. I thought I would just sort of mix it up a little bit. I was going to go with Apple's Jade, with a mare's allowance as well. I know you obviously disagree, but that's the whole point of the sport. So go on then, Sean, give us your reasons why you...
Well, Lorena was one of my ones to watch this year. As in my main one to watch was Lorena, because I think the first show that we did where I mentioned Lorena, I nailed straight away that I think Lorena will win the champion hurdle. We're talking way back in October.
Oh yeah. You've been a stern supporter line.
Yeah, not had a great prep. One run, 2 run a race at Sandown, walked round.
But can only do that. Can only do what
you can only do this in front of you. There have been, over that festive period where she won, you saw Bouvedere beat, you saw Kalashnikov beat, you saw Footpad beaten again, you saw Sam Crow beaten. So there was a lot going on where at that point you thought no favourite is safe. But she done her job by a long way. Didn't have enough to break a sweat. Again, we'll get the mare's allowance, which in any power in the past has shown makes the biggest difference in some respects to these horses. She's got course form. Okay, Ruby will probably be sat on this time where it was Paul Townend last time, I believe, over at Cheltenham. But he turns up for Cheltenham. People will have their reservations. People will have their reservations about Ruby Walsh by all means, right? He can't do right from wrong, the man. But at Cheltenham, he turns up. There's reasons why he's usually top jockey. Unless there's an injury, he's top jockey. And on a horse like that, on a wonder mare, as I see you've put down here, like that, I can see that being one hell of a race that she will get her nose in front. Again, not the greatest prep run. But a horse I'm very passionate about and I do genuinely believe has a massive share in this. I mean, the last 2 years...
Well, she's been unbeaten since you joined Mullins, hasn't she? So.
I mean, the last 2 years I have come for Bouvedere, and you can see why, but I just think this year there may be a change.
Well, on that subject then, the champ.
I disagree. Again, it goes back to course form. back-to-back champion hurdles. I think it will be a third. You know, it's not to say that Lorena's not fantastic. She is. Again, my question mark would be, as it has been for a lot of times and a lot of horses, is what has she actually beaten? This is a different test. Apples Jade has gone in there at second favourite. I'm sorry, I can't be having Apples Jade after the last disappointments at Cheltenham. I'm a strong believer in course form, and she doesn't turn up at Cheltenham. I also think that this is not her ideal trip either. I think she's better over further. Minimum 2 mile 4 and 5. I know she won at 2 miles last time out. At a canter, but that was.
She does seem to be back in form though.
She is very, very good. I just don't think that this stiff 2 mile is her ideal trip, and I just think Bouvier is better. 2 champion hurdles.
Well, I would, despite me not picking Bouvier, again, just a sort of devil's advocate somewhat, but you'd have to say to challenge anyone to tell you you're wrong for doing that.
Yeah, I mean that one blip, you say blip in the form since coming back was obviously Verdana Blue. I don't think that was a fantastic run personally.
Flat one fence, didn't even jump.
Exactly, just literally went straight through it. But before that, beat the likes of Sam Crow out of sight, out of absolute canter, and then one last time out as well. So for me, course form for me is the best horse in the race, and I think it'll be 3 out of 3.
Fair dues. Okay. Well, we've got again some agreements. But we'll start with Jacob. Jacob's gone from more, what you might call one of the outsiders there. And he thinks Sharjah might just spoil the party.
We were talking about this, and I do you know what?
It's a fantastic bet.
People tend not to flick too much through the card to see past, sort of 5, 6 to 1s and things like that. But this horse beat Super Sunday last time out.
It's got some form.
Sam Crow on his comeback run. Again, we've got our opinions on Sam Crow. But beat Mellon last time out as well, and Mellon is, I think, 3rd, 4th favourite for this current champion hurdle, so I couldn't argue with him on that.
That's a fantastic.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
And non-run and no bet is such a good time to get on.
It
really is.
Yeah,
you can touch your arm on that.
It's far from a silly bet, is it? You know what I mean? Given, like you say, what you just said there, some of the sorts that she's beaten, in recent races, might not have won every single race, but certainly peaked when needed to. Against some very useful sorts.
So you've got Verdana Blue in there as well at 9 to 1. I'm not sure that's going to actually happen, but again, if you're looking at non-runner, no bets, it's all keep stressing.
And then Jamie has gone for Bouvier as well. Which again, you pretty much just said it all there, really. I'm sure Jamie wouldn't add a lot more if he was sitting here now, what you just said there.
I hope not.
No. Right, well, that's the first half of the previews, or the first part of the previews, should I say, we're planning on doing it sort of 3 or maybe 4. We'll see how it plans out, but certainly 3 at least, I would have thought, to cover it. So it's Cheltenham time, boys. Time to get excited.
Oh, yes. And it's a time to get involved now.
It's
where Jacob started last year.
Yeah.
He was picking winners for fun on our comments bit at such brilliant prices. The Pen Hill for the stayers at 12 because he hadn't had a run, and Far Class and things like that. Cheltenham is always the one that gets a buzz, so everyone, get involved, comment. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, we'll cover the rest of the races in there as well. As we said, we can't cover them all, but if we get a sniff of something, you've seen that we're recently doing sort of Twitter snip videos at the weekend when we're picking ones out. We're actually free from that.
Yeah, we are.
So,
but there's lots of people.
We don't tip, but
there's lots of people. You've got Josh out there, racing Josh doing his stuff as well, and if you don't know a lot about racing, you'll still hear the horses that we've mentioned, and you'll hear other people mention, and then you can read and make your mind up and think, well, actually, hang on, I've just watched these guys talk about it. I've just seen that on Twitter. I've seen that on Facebook, and
the Northern Gamblers do a very good podcast.
Yeah, they do
as well.
Yeah. So you'll get a bit. You know what I mean? If you're a bit green and you don't know a lot about it, but you just get involved because it's the excitement of Cheltenham.
God, it's worth it.
It's absolutely worth it. Yeah.
Get involved.
Yeah, get involved and comment down below and or join us on Twitter and give us a follow. Join the polls and the questions that we stick up there. Also, the scarves are all underway.
Yes.
They're under manufacture. So hopefully we'll see them
shortly. Actually.
Yeah, shortly. I mean, certainly middle of next week, I would have thought. Hopefully. So, keep an eye out for that. We'll get you some pictures up on on Twitter and on Facebook. And if you haven't bought one, you can get on the website and buy one.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see you again for the next part.
Lovely.